And welcome back to Daytime, everyone. I'm Dave Nemeth. You know, rushing a decision is never in our best interest, and often we fear the unknown and choose a course before the time is right. Life coach and author Chandra is here to explain why, when you're confused, it's always best to do absolutely nothing. Is that right?
I think so. I think that what we think is natural is to do something.
Right.
But really, when you're confused, you're kind of in unknown territory. And I think we get a lot of bad advice with people telling us, chop, chop, let's make a decision. But really, the best thing to do when you're confused is to just take a deep breath, wait for stuff to settle, and to kind of come to the surface, and not to rush into something.
Now, you say about confusion. Confusion is an increasingly incongruity between what you're thinking and what you're feeling.
Right. I think when we're confused, there is an incongruity. There's a disconnect between what we think and what we feel. What we think is, I should go take this job. I should, you know, go out with this person. I should do this. It's about shoulds and oughts in our head. What we're feeling is really something else. So when there's an incongruity between those two things, then you get confused. You have to wait until everything kind of comes together.
Okay. Also, you say confusion points the way to a new beginning. It will not allow us to take the familiar path.
Right. What we want to do when we rush a decision is the familiar path makes us feel safe. We know that. When you're in between closing one door and opening another, you're going to be confused. It's a place where you're entering unknown territory. When you rush a decision, it's because you feel insecure, you feel scared, and you just want to do something rather than do nothing at all. It is not the best path just simply not.
Sometimes it's better to sit back and let things shake out before you make any kind of decision.
Exactly, it is.
All right, you say to probably facilitate this, you say sit on the floor. If it gets you out of your head and back in your body, that's a good thing, because you're supposed to be feeling that.
Well, you have to feel to make a good decision. You can't think your way.
Why? Okay, why the floor? I'm sorry.
Okay, here's the deal. What happens when you're confused is you have a million thoughts up in your head. All the energy is above your neck. You know, when you're confused, a million miles a minute, the mind just keeps going. It's frantic. Something really ridiculous and kind of dumb like sitting on the floor, it kind of catapults you kind of back into your body. And all of a sudden, the energy kind of pulls down from the head and comes back into here, because it's a very physical thing. So when you sit down, you come back into your body. You need the energy to be below the neck in this area in order to make a decision. You with me?
Okay, yes, absolutely.
So when you sit on the floor and you just breathe, it's like all of a sudden all that franticness stops, and then you get a chance to maybe open up to something else.
And listen to your inner voice.
There you go.
It always has your best interest at heart.
Right.
What you really, the inside says.
Right. So when the mind is quiet, what happens is the heart opens. When the mind stops, something else kicks in. We cannot hear our own inner voice when our mind is frantic, because when your mind is frantic, you hear everybody else's voice in your head other than your own. You know? When the mind is quiet, this opens, and all of a sudden, what's really in your best interest, that inner voice, that voice that says, this is the house I need to buy. Whatever it is I need to do, this is where I belong. Not, I think I should do this, or someone told me to do this. It just feels right. That's what happens.
Okay, and then finally you say, do not make a decision until everything in you says go.
Well, you have to be very brave to do that. You have people telling you, it's better, just do something. It's better than doing nothing at all. Just go ahead, just move out. No. You have to be willing to be a little uncomfortable, because see, what happens when you move from a place that doesn't work to another place, you're going to go through unknown territory. There's going to be an element of angst there. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, if you're not willing to sit with that unknown feeling a little bit, you're going to rush to make a decision. In between the known place and the unknown place is where all the juiciness happens. It's like putting in all the ingredients and you don't really know what's coming out of the blender yet. So you have to have a little bit of patience and wait. That's when you move. Everything in you says go, then you do it. And then you don't have to do a lot of backtracking.
Good advice. I think we can all relate to these feelings. We all find ourselves in those kind of positions every now and then. In fact, we're going to take a break, but if you're having a problem making a difficult decision, you can give us a call at 1-800-664-8808, and you can talk with Chandra about it. We'll be right back.